So, what's your name?
Tom Thorson.
Fiona Hammers.
Where?
I'm going to talk about a story about a near drowning that we had.
The day that I left for college, I got my car, I had it all packed up. My parents were standing there, and my dad looked at me and he said, "No."
Now you stick to your studies and you leave the women alone.
I said, "No, I'm not even going to look at the ladies," I said, "until I'm a senior in college. I'm not even going to pay attention to them." And I walked into my first class and sat down, and there 2 rows over sat this beautiful blonde. I thought, gee, I wonder what her name is. I went over and introduced myself.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Tom.
A year later, we were married. My wife was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and very quickly was going downhill, where she was going into a wheelchair and so forth. And I had several times, I had a long talk with my dad about how do you do it? How do you help? How do you watch somebody you love do this? And he always said, "There's one way you do it." He said, "You love them where they are, and you just take them on from there." That's the only information or the only advice he would give me. Just love them where they are and go on from there. I asked him several times, what advice would you give me? Because I need to know how to help my wife. That's what he'd tell me every time.
But then my father came, he was principal and so forth, doing those sort of things. But to him, it wasn't the thing that he wanted to do for his life. He was in Minneapolis and they didn't have anything, they had no car, they had no nothing, they walked all over. He put himself through medical school with those 3 children. He just ran himself ragged, and then he got asthma, and he turned out to not have a very good ending. It was so hard.
I bet.
So I don't have very good memories there.
Yeah.
But I know the Lord was with us all.
Yeah.
One day we'll meet in heaven. Celebrities I didn't admire, but I must tell you the nuns I admired. We had the Notre Dame teaching nuns. In the winter months when the roads were bad, us kids boarded at school in St. Pius from Monday to Friday. While there, I helped wash dishes for 2 nuns. Got to know and love them much. The one especially was my good friend for the rest of her life.
Well, anyway, it was about 7 o'clock in the evening, and I was very excited about getting going because I was leaving for Idaho. I got up and I walked out in the yard, and although I had been sitting up in front of the cottage all day long, I decided I was going to make one more trip up to look at the lake and the sunset. So I walked up there and I stood on the corner of the lot, and I could see the entire lake, and so there was really no reason for me to go any further. But I decided I was going to go a little further, so I walked across the lawn, across our beach, and I walked out on the dock. As I was standing there, I looked over at the neighbors next door, and they had a dock, and I saw a little thing come out of the water, and it, in a way, I think I'd seen fish come out and jump a little bit in the evening, but we never had any fish in our lake, so this is a real strange thing. And the water was only about 4 feet deep, so it really wasn't much for fish to be up in that type of area. But for some reason I decided, well, I was going to walk over there and just see what that thing was that was in the water. So I walked over on the end of our dock and down the beach and out onto the dock next door. And I walked out, and I suppose I walked 15, 20 feet. And so I got to the point where I saw this thing come out of the water. So I looked down in the water, and lo and behold, there's a little baby laying on the bottom of the lake. And I had all my dress clothes on and everything, billfold in my pocket and all, and so I jumped in the lake and the mother was sitting on the front porch, and it was a screened-in porch, and she came running out, and she wanted to grab a hold of the child from me. And the thing that I guess that I've thought of so much of the time, it was a tremendous thing for me to be able to do this, and I often wondered if I ever came upon an accident or anything like that, what would I do? Because blood and things like that just were not my cup of tea. But I just went into the water and got it and brought it up, and it's just that, there were so many miracles that happened. I mean, it just seemed like that the good Lord had put all of these things in, and any one of those things hadn't happened, that child would have been dead. So that's the story of life. And I often wondered, is there somebody in this area, 66 years old, that's walking around because I jumped in the lake and got the baby out?
When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine, birthday greetings, bottle of wine? If I've been out till 2:45, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Dum 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 dum. You'll be older too. And if you say the word, baby, I could stay with you. Do do.